Hi everyone, welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Pranav Poddar, one of the co-founders of Synergy Environics Limited, which creates healthier and more productive spaces for people to work and live in. Hi, Pranav, welcome to ELI.
Thank you, Priyanjan. Good to have you. Good to be on your show.
I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience, please.
So I'm Pranav. I'm one of the co-founders of Environics. This is a company which was formed about 15 years back. And prior to that, I've also been a entrepreneur of another business venture,
Mhm.
which was into manufacturing of automated multi-level car parking systems. So that was my first venture, and this is my second venture. So we started this organization Environics with one sole mission, which still stays. In 15 years, businesses go through a lot of change. But I think one mission we've stuck to since the start, 15 years back, is that we started with a mission to transform people's lives, to make their quality of life better,
Okay.
and focus on wellness.
Mm.
So there's a lot of difference between health and wellness.
Mhm.
Sometimes we put wellness in one bracket, but in our definition, wellness comes much before health. So
Mm.
there's a lot of things to do in your lifestyle, the kind of diet that you take, the kind of nutrition, lifestyle that you lead, which contributes to your wellness and what it will ultimately lead to health. So we work on multiple layers, which we'll talk about during this show of yours.
Mm.
But with one sole mission that we need to make people healthier and well, and we are focusing more towards B2B. So
Mhm.
if organizations have healthy employees, then the organizations are more productive. So that's with the sole intention that we operate. And of course, during these 15 years, we've also ventured into D2C.
Mm.
D2C is a buzzword today, but I think we started that journey as well about 7 years back. So we also ventured into a lot of innovation and R&D on products which are patented and we manufacture them. And again, we'll talk more as we go along in this show.
uh, Talking about the problem, please elaborate a bit on, like you mentioned, uh, you're a wellness company, you are operating in
Yeah.
B2C B2B space, and it's more
Yes.
into employee wellness, but it's still a broad segment. You can
Yes,
do
absolutely.
the same through maybe insurance solutions or maybe clean air, or
Yeah.
like you mentioned D2C. So what exactly,
Okay, so
what subcategory do you operate in?
we operate in a very niche category, which is something which is still very new. When we started 15 years back, nobody had heard of it. It's still very new. When we talk to a lot of customers, they still, are amazed that something like this exists. So the
Mm.
niche area and problem that we are solving is we are protecting people against many invisible threats in the environment.
Mm.
And the visible threats that we are dealing with, one is called environmental radiations,
Okay.
and the second is called electro smog. So when I talk about environmental radiations, there is a concept called geopathic stress or
Mm-hmm.
geostress.
Mm-hmm.
So geo is earth, and there are many factors in the earth which cause stress on man and machine. So
Okay.
that's why the term is called geostress.
Mm-hmm.
Now, geostress is made up of concepts like magnetic grid lines of the earth and cavities and fissures under the surface of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So, in school in physics, they teach children that Earth has these magnetic grid lines every 5 to 12 meters. But you don't know, you're not taught about the practical implication of sleeping over a magnetic grid line or working over a magnetic grid line.
Mm-hmm.
So research says, and this research has been there for hundreds of years. It's just that it got into importance since the 1940s,
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of scientists, mostly in Europe, did a lot of research on this.
Okay.
So what geopathic stress means is that what the phenomena is that 20% of your living and working spaces
Mm-hmm.
have these geostresses. So 20% of your home has it, 20% of my home has it. 20% of every building on this planet has it
Okay.
across the globe. It's a worldwide phenomenon. And
Mm-hmm.
which 20% you will never know. So that is where we come in, and we have a lot of instrumentation by
Mm-hmm.
which we are able to fit out in a build space. So we do this at homes, we do that. This is at offices. We do this at industrial units. Any space, any built environment, we have instrumentation where we can map this out.
Okay.
And then our IPR is where we have solutions which we
Mm.
can implement in that built environment, which completely neutralize the harmful impact of these geostresses on man and machine. So essentially, what we are doing is we are making people healthier because a lot of lifestyle problems, things like sleep. Now, if
Mm.
you talk to 10 people around you and you ask them one basic question, that do you sleep well at night? Do you wake up fresh in the morning? Probably 7 or 8 of them will say, no, we don't sleep well. We don't
Mm.
wake up very fresh in the morning.
Mm.
Now, that's one major problem coming out of this geostress, which
Mm.
people may not even realize. And there are many other researches done all over the world on many other problems, but I'm just taking one example due to paucity of time. So, geostress causes sleep problems, it causes heart problems, brain problems, general irritability, headaches, migraines, which can correlate. If your bed is being cut by a geostress,
Mm.
that could be major problems why you don't sleep well and various other problems. So we need to map it out and correct it. And actually, people report much better health conditions in as quick as 2 weeks' time once
Mm.
we are able to solve the problem for them. The second major problem that we are solving is electro smog. Now, again, it's a term which is gaining international popularity. Electro smog, smog, a lot of the listeners might know, especially in the northern part of India, that the pollution which is caused from dust and in the environment is causing a lot of smog that you can see and smell.
Mm.
But electro is the digital, all your digital devices all around you. So your Wi-Fi routers at homes, laptops, phones, mobile towers, either on top of your building or neighboring buildings,
Mm.
server room, offices, smart TVs, baby monitors, IoT applications, smart home applications, wearables. Smartwatches are again something which is gaining a lot of popularity. But all these are emitting EMR emissions. EMR is electromagnetic radiations,
Mm.
which we don't realize. Our the cells of our body were not designed to take care of EMR from so many devices all around us.
Mhm.
So there's a report which says that at present we are connected to at least 20 devices at any given point of time. And if you really start counting, you will be able to count close to 20 devices that we are connected to. If you're living or if you're working in a space and you connect your laptop to a Wi-Fi network, you probably might see 8 or 9 networks,
Yeah.
which means that 8 or 9 networks are connecting to your device, and that also means that they are connecting to you,
Mm.
to your body.
Right.
So at any point of time, we are connected to about 20 devices, which you know we were not designed to handle. So all these phenomena, whether environmental or digital, is what that is really in simple terms, layman terms, is doing is causing stress on the body.
Mm.
And you measure stress. Stress can be due to multiple factors, but if you're talking about environmental stress and digital stress,
Mhm.
any form of stress can be measured by measuring your pulse rate, which is also your heart rate.
Mhm.
If your pulse rate is high, that means you're stressed out.
Mm.
If your pulse is low, that means you're calm in, and whatever is your environment, whatever is your lifestyle, you're dealing with it fairly well. Now,
Mhm.
statistics that 80% of today's working population, if you were to measure their pulse rate, resting heart rate at any given point of time,
Mhm.
would be about 82, count of 82. Pulse is something you can just do it with this or with your variables, you'll get a count. Now, if you
Mhm.
talk to any doctor, they say that a regular pulse rate range for a typical healthy adult is between 72 to 82.
Okay.
Athletes who are trained very hard can also have a pulse rate below 72. But for a typical healthy adult, it should be between 72 to 82.
Mhm.
But 80% of the working population across any industry sector that if you were to measure that would have a pulse rate above 82.
Right.
Some of the younger people also who are supposedly very fit, gymming and all of that, if you were to measure their pulse would be 90, 100, 110.
Mm.
So obviously there are things happening in their life which is causing that stress.
Right.
And environmental factors like geostress and electrosmog is one of the major contributors.
Mm.
So again, what we do as an entrepreneur and as an organization which is Environics, we are making solutions and services, delivering services at a build space, delivering products to an individual, which can reduce these stress levels from these environmental and digital sources. So that's the niche area that we operate out of. And all our solutions are medically tested, clinically tested. Say out of the top four medical institutions in India, which
Mm-hmm.
is say AIMS, Apollo, Max, and a few others, they've clinically vetted our solutions and certified our solutions. So the application is in a building. The application is on the device, the tech devices of a consumer, but the benefits health. So
Gotcha.
really about creating value for the health and well-being of a customer and the organization.
Got you. Just want to understand what kind of products or solutions that you deploy. I mean, what technologies they use, or how do they kind of counter the effects of the things you mentioned.
So for devices, when I talk about electro smog, so EMR emissions from say a cell phone or a laptop or a router
Mhm.
uh, causing stress on the body, what it really does, again, if I talk a little technical, what it is doing is that all these smart devices are emitting what is a sine wave.
Hmm.
It's a constant wave. All electronic devices are emitting a sine wave.
Right.
Whereas if you ever seen a ECG of the heart or EEG of the brain,
Hmm.
what you see on a graph is these zigzag waves.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
the so everything which is emitting a random wave is good for the human body.
Mm-hmm.
Anything which is emitting constant wave is causing stress on the body. So
Okay.
what we do, our solutions are, we have multiple brands. One is called EnviroChip,
Mm-hmm.
another brand called EnviroGlobe.
Mm-hmm.
These are solutions, and I can maybe just show it to you. If you can see my phone, and you
Yeah.
can see this shaped product.
Right.
These, worry about the shape; they come in different shapes and sizes and colors. This is a brand called EnviroChip, which is patented by us.
Mm-hmm.
Once you fix EnviroChip on all your electronic devices, it is randomizing the sine wave.
Mm.
Electronics, as I said, is emitting a constant wave. And what this product is doing is converting that constant wave into a random wave, which is
Mm-hmm.
good for good. So the technology that we are working on is randomizing the waves which are alien to us.
Mm-hmm.
And again, there's a technicality behind how this is done. The kind of materials which are used inside this product has undergone a lot of R&D over the last 11 to 12 years. All these, as I said, has been clinically tested and certified by national and international bodies. And
Mm-hmm.
there are different products, brands that we have which are for similar applications. What we do in buildings is something different because that we are dealing with Earth's natural radiations, geostresses. So again, that's a service that we implement. That's not a product that we sell. There
Okay.
is a project team. We have engineers who go into a site, go into a building,
Mm-hmm.
and with instrumentation map out what is where. And for everything that we find out, there is a whole protocol and there's a whole system that we have developed by which they are able to uh, enable that solution in a building
Got
and deliver the result to the client.
you. Mm-hmm.
So, like, this could be lower attrition levels, lower absentee levels. If you're talking about an industrial unit, we deliver lower machinery breakdown
Mm-hmm.
because even machines, if located on geostress, would have a much higher breakdown than another machine which is not on geostress.
Mm-hmm.
So by delivering solutions, we are able to demonstrate to that industrial unit that their machinery breakdown has reduced drastically.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the internal harmony, what we also refer to as interpersonal relationships between colleagues, between teams, that becomes much. And so these are some of the parameters that we track with our organizations, and we help them solve challenges of high attritions or high absenteeisms or higher stress, higher bad interpersonal relationships, higher machinery breakdowns. These are the 4 or 5 parameters that we track, and
Mm-hmm.
we are able to that by implementing our solution in that building. Um, all these parameters get improved, and
Got
of
you.
course, we have the health parameters, which is through your resting heart. So value is delivered at the individual level as well as at the enterprise level.
Got you. So, tell me one thing. So all these solutions you mentioned, they are very subtle solutions, and they cater to very subtle problems as well. It's more like a vastu that we have during the house construction and all. It is there, but you cannot, really prove that it is there, right? Having said that, how I just want to understand, how do you propose, or how do you pitch to a B2B client, because you operate in B2B space, that this is something that you should consider, and how does the initial conversation look like, because these are very business centric people who would like to see ROI upfront before they can even start a discussion. And
Absolutely.
lot of other founders who listen to us, they also have very complex technologies or solutions, and the biggest challenge for them is to demonstrate their, or prepare elevator pitch for a B2B client who would be a prospective customer. So how have you solved that
Yeah,
problem?
yeah. So thank you for the question. So obviously, when we talk about we enhance employee well-being, we lower machinery breakdown, we lower attrition, we lower absenteeism, and so of course there are solutions which can do all of this through very very different methods also.
Mhm,
The unique part about us is that we do this non-intrusively. That means the organization or the client does not have to change anything. They don't have to break up, like you mentioned about vastu. So out here it's all scientific. You don't
mhm,
have to break or make new structures. Your layouts remain the same. There is no disruption in the work environment of the client. But today, to answer your question, what these 15 years of journey has helped us is the credibility that we have built up by delivering value or ROI to the clients. So say out of the 100 top 100 companies in India by market cap,
mhm,
25 are already our clients. Groups like Aditya Birla, Reliance, Indian Oil, Bharat Petroleum, Vedanta, Steel Authority of India, PepsiCo, GMR, GVK. So we've done work for all these kind of clients. So we've done work for multinational clients, PSUs, and large private sector companies, where we have delivered value to them, and it's everything is measurable, everything is data driven.
mhm,
So if we can't show better data, before and after our implementation, then obviously, but all these places, and we've implemented our technology now in close to 2,700 projects.
mhm,
So these are airports, oil refineries, steel plants, um, any other kind of manufacturing plant, a lot of commercial complexes, residential buildings, hotels. Some of the largest hotel chain groups like ITC and Lalit Group are our clients. We've implemented our technology in all their luxury properties all across India. So you name the industry sector, and we've got the top 2 or 3 client names in that, where we've got testimonials and feedback from their top leadership. We've got data which is signed off everything. Whatever work we do, there is a whole lot of documentation which gets prepared.
mhm,
So when we pitch to a new client, we actually showcase our credibility upfront,
mhm,
and then we get to the space and how we solve that challenge. And I think that's a route that's worked very well for us, because if we start with the credibility, the kind of work that we've done not only in India but 12 other countries, 72 cities, 200 million square feet of area corrected,
mhm,
more than million individual consumers using our products and services. So these numbers are fairly significant. 25 of the top 100 companies in India are our clients. So
mhm,
the approach that we our pitch is that we first couple of pitch points or slides that we say, if we were to show a PowerPoint presentation,
mhm,
would start with the kind of body of work that we've done till date.
mhm,
And that makes the conversation with another new client much easier, because it kind of establishes the value that we are delivering for all those clients. So if we've done work in 2,700 projects, that itself is a significant number. So that
absolutely.
helps us. And technical discussions obviously will happen, because everybody would want to understand what it can do for them. And
Mhm,
again, there are things that we do an impact assessment survey for a client. We present the report to them. They are able to see visually where these geostress lines or electrosmog are within their work environment, and they
mhm,
are themselves able to correlate certain issues, whether it's of breakdowns or interpersonal relationships or attrition. And once they are able to see those correlations, is when they sign up and actually get the work done from us. And then again, it's something that we stay engaged with them. It's not a one-time thing that we do for them and go away.
mhm,
Every quarter there's audit. So there's a quarterly audit that we run, and we document the kind of results and the improvement that organization has seen on a quarter-on-quarter basis. So it's not a promissory basis that we will talk good things and say that this is what we'll do for you. We
mm,
will come back quarter, measure data, and actually deliver and show results quarter on quarter. So it's a continuous improvement process. There's nothing called as an overnight improvement,
mm.
but we the kind of ball rolling and things start to happen, and organizations see that value in that.
Gotcha. Uh, Tell us a little bit about your entrepreneur journey, like how it all started, uh, and how did you land up in a area or a segment which is very high subject matter expertise, and you certainly need a need to understand the concept behind it, technology, and then figuring out a business charter out of it. So how did it play out for you?
So, sometimes you talk about, and you would have heard this from various other entrepreneurs, there is certain destiny which also comes into play.
Yeah.
You are destined to a particular work, and things around you come out in a way where you are meant to do certain things.
Mm,
And there's a lot of history behind how we got into this. I won't get into that long an history, but to be very short, we were fortunate enough to know and meet certain scientists in Europe and in India who were doing a lot of academic research on geostresses.
mhm,
There's a lot of data, there's a lot of research, and there are a lot of reports which are published already. As I said, this started in the 1940s. So last 80 years, there's already a lot of data and reports, but that data and those reports were limited to the academic domain.
mm,
So we feel that there is a need. We need to, as an industry, we need to bring that academic knowledge into industrial and practical knowledge,
okay.
where it value for our clients. So we know, and again, this whole process started in the early 90s,
Mhm,
and before we commercialized this technology, we had spent a good 15 to 16 years in kind of doing a lot of POCs, proof of concept, a lot of pilot projects for some of our known clients in our other businesses, previous businesses. And in 2007, we actually took the plunge,
mm,
saying, and because we got a lot of feedback from our other clients in other sectors, in our other businesses, that this is something that is great. There's not anybody who's solving this challenge.
mm,
And that is when we started to build teams. We hired architects, we hired engineers, we hired people across multidisciplinary fields. And that's been a journey. Again, it's a journey where when people ask us that what's your next 5-year goal,
mm,
it's very hard in our business to set a 5-year goal because we keep looking at various things. And for us, even if we are able to capture the next 1 year, it's good enough for us,
mm,
because there are so many concepts and so many new theories that we work on and we do R&D on. So R&D is a major focus area for us. There could be 10 projects that we work on simultaneously, and even just 2 of them see the light of the day.
mm,
So, so we just happened to be in an environment where this was being talked about at an academic level, and we saw a need. uh, as individuals, we felt that yes, if we can do this for other people and other organizations, it's something that we can add a lot of value.
mm,
And at a promoter level, the three of us felt that it's something that was our calling. We needed to do this. Uh, there was clearly nobody else doing it. We didn't have numbers. We didn't project anything. It's a self-funded, it's a bootstrapped organization. We haven't received, we have not even gone for funding, because the kind of work we do is fairly self sustainable. It's a quite a profitable business for us. And so all the new age things where talk about funding, and you talk about customer acquisition, and you talk about uh, getting profitable or getting in the green in 2 years time or 5 years time, we've
yeah.
been profitable from day one. Whatever we do it in a sustainable manner, and we think that we do good work, we deliver good value for our customers, and within that space we are fairly comfortable and we happy.
Mm,
That's the ethos that we work with. We are not running a rat race, or we're not chasing anybody else,
mm,
that we catch up to XYZ organization and be the top. We are, I think, in market share or in numbers, we're clearly the global leader in the work that we do.
mm,
Anybody else who comes into this field will have to catch up a lot.
right.
But yeah, it's a commercial enterprise, and profit is everything for us. We are not doing charity.
Right.
But yeah, we do it in a sustainable manner, and we do it in a profitable manner.
Got you. My last question for you. Tell us in two, three sentences what is the meaning of entrepreneurship for you? How would you define the term entrepreneur?
Okay, so entrepreneurship to me personally is something that firstly you need to enjoy doing. You need to have the passion that there's an opportunity you've identified. You work on it passionately. You persevere with it, and you ensure that you are enjoying that whole ride. You are enjoying the whole process. The moment you stop enjoying something and you feel burdened by it, then that means that that particular activity or that particular role is not suitable for you. So an entrepreneur is somebody who would persevere with an idea, and they would keep working on it as long as it takes to make it a success. An entrepreneur would never give up.
Mm,
And as you are enjoying the ride and you are persevering with it and ensuring that whatever you do in life, you are making other people happy. You're making other people see value in what you're doing, and you're receiving a lot of appreciation. Receiving and you yourself, your own mental state is you're content with what you're doing. I think then that's what to me is entrepreneurship. You should not feel burdened by anybody else. You should not be chasing anybody else just because somebody else has told you to do something. Then to me you're a slave. So an
mm,
entrepreneur is somewhere you're king of your own life.
right.
And if you're happy doing that and you're solving a problem which other people appreciate, I think you're doing a good job as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time, Pranav, and it was a great pleasure to have you on our platform. It's a unique venture that we are running, and our best wishes for Synergy Environics.
Thank you, Priyaranjan, and great, really enjoyed the chat with you and wishing you all the best.